बात की इंडस्ट्री में, nobody wants to spend 6 months of their life because you know when you talk about movies, तो मूवी में एक शूटिंग का टाइम जाता है, फिर प्रमोशंस जाता है, फिर बहुत सारी चीज़ें, पोस्ट प्रोडक्शन, 6 महीने 7 महीने इंसानों के साथ गुजारना पड़ता है जो जिनके साथ आप काम कर रहे हो. कोई नहीं चाहता कि कोई डिफिकल्ट इंसान के साथ वो टाइम गुजारे. You are possibly the easiest. You have seen so many things happen in your life and that people don't know about, जो लोगों को पता नहीं है. Have you always been this person? Is it your mom and dad's influence on your life?
Oh, that's a very difficult question because we'll get into childhood and conditioning and friends and family and everything. But I'll just say one thing. When we entered the industry, me and Vicky, पापा ने बस एक ही बात बोली थी कि बेटा तुम्हारी कला 19-20 होगी ना तो चल जाएगा बिकॉज तुम्हारे पास पूरी ज़िंदगी है सीखने के लिए. बट मेक श्योर दैट यू आर नॉट अ बैड पर्सन. सो या इट्स प्रॉबली मॉम एंड डैड देयर इन्फ्लुएंस एंड वो छोटे से गांव से आते हैं यार, तो आई थिंक वो हमारे घर में भी वही माहौल होता है हमेशा, तो वही हमारे अंदर भी, और वही हम अपनी टीम के साथ, लोगों के साथ जब हम सेट पे जाते हैं तो बांटने की कोशिश करते हैं. बिकॉज at the end of the day, everything else is just your ego, and what is real is how you are with people and the relationships you have.
बचपन से ही शौक था एक्टिंग का?
नहीं यार, मुझे आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट बनना था.
Archaeologist?
Yeah, I was very interested in history and dinosaurs and everything else, you know. And then I realized उसके लिए बहुत पढ़ना पड़ता है. I'm just kidding, yeah. नहीं यार, then I was actually studying to be a CA.
Oh.
Yeah, because I had taken up commerce and that was the best thing you could do in it. And after my graduation, I figured कि shit यार अभी तो CA तो बनना है नहीं लाइफ में, मतलब accounts तो करना है नहीं तो क्या करें. So then we had always seen that हम लोग के घर में माहौल ही नहीं था 9 to 5 जॉब का, you know, erratic working hours, कभी 20 दिन के लिए चले गए घर से डैड काम के लिए, and that's what we loved, that वो atmosphere, which is why we took to film industry. We didn't know that we want to be actors, but we just took to film industry. We assisted on a couple of projects, and then we realized that okay, we can kind of we like entertaining people, so we want to be here.
A lot of people उनको पता नहीं है कि मैंने आपके पापा से बात की है very recently, and I've known him for a few years. वो एक छोटे से गांव से आते हैं, एंड उनके लिए बाय द वे जब उनके साथ भी बात करेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि उनके लिए एजुकेशन ने बहुत ज़्यादा डिफरेंस क्रिएट किया है अपने लाइफ में. ही वॉज पॉसिबली द ओनली वन इन हिज एंटायर गांव हु न्यू इंग्लिश, एंड वो स्टंट मैन थे एक टाइम पे, और उनको अपनी पहली मूवी एज एन एक्शन डायरेक्टर मिली थी बिकॉज इट वॉज अ मलयालम फिल्म, एंड ही टोल्ड मी दैट मुझे इसीलिए मिली थी क्योंकि मैं इकलौता ऐसा इंसान था जिसको इंग्लिश आती थी. ऐसे किस्से कहानियाँ कितने सुने हैं बचपन से?
बहुत ज़्यादा. डैड एक्चुअली ही इज़ अ मास्टर्स इन इंग्लिश लिटरेचर फ्रॉम पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी, एंड उन्हें लेक्चरर बनना था. लेकिन वो लेक्चरर बनने के लिए देयर इज़ सम अदर स्टडीज़ दैट यू हैव टू कंप्लीट, तो उनके पास तो उतने पैसे नहीं थे उसमें एनरोल करने के लिए. तो फिर वो बॉम्बे आ गए. बॉम्बे आके उन्हें स्टंटमैन का काम अच्छा लगा बिकॉज ईमानदारी बहुत है उसमें, तो वो बन गए. एंड या he's got a lot of projects also because he knows how to, he probably that time knew how to talk and converse in English, but I mean that's a very क्या कहते हैं, light-hearted way of putting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why he says that education is really important. No matter what you do in life, make sure that you always complete your studies in whatever you want to, whether you want to take that up as your career or no, that's besides the point. But make sure that you complete your education. It teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you a lot about yourself, how you are in the face of adversities, how you can come out of a situation. It teaches you a lot. So yeah, that's why he stresses on education.
The best is that you know, मेरे भी एक बड़े भाई है जो मुझसे 10 साल बड़े है, ठीक है. तो of course he's like a father and he's like a second father only. जो
मेरा भाई मुझसे 1 साल 4 महीने बड़ा है, but he's still like my father. So.
See? एंड आई थिंक बड़े भाइयों का ये हो जाता है बिकॉज नो मैटर व्हाट द डिफरेंस दे फील लाइक कि पापा ने इसको नहीं डांटा तो उसकी कसर मैं पूरी कर देता हूँ. ऐसा होता है मेरी जिंदगी में, तो वैसा ही हुआ है. बट मेरे भाई ने ना बहुत मुश्किल दिन देखे हैं विथ माई मॉम एंड डैड व्हेन ही वाज ग्रोइंग अप. ही डिडंट हैव दैट लग्जरी दैट पॉसिबली आई वुड हैव हैड. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट आई वाज born with a silver spoon, but I still saw more luxury. When I spoke to your dad, both of you grew up in a very limited resource वाला life, and वो ना upbringing और conditioning में बहुत ज़्यादा महत्व रखता है जब आपने वैसे दिन देखे हैं. बचपन के ऐसे दिन याद है जहाँ पे you know you could realize that your mom and dad are actually struggling to make your dreams come true?
You know, actually, it speaks a lot about them, but no, because they never let us feel that way. तो ऐसा नहीं होता था that we were spoiled, that we were कि हमें ये चाहिए तो वो दिला दी. You know, वो नहीं होता था. We were always head on our shoulders के you know ज़रूरत है तो ही वो चीज़ लेनी है तो ही ताकि उस चीज़ का सम्मान हो, उस चीज़ को आप respect कर सको. But we've never like we grew up और तब जाके हमें कुछ कुछ कहानियाँ पता चलती थी कि you know there were days where पैसे नहीं होते थे या you know all the struggling days because हम क्या है हमारी जो generation है we are born into a era where we're enjoying things very frankly and our fathers and mothers they're the generation of builders, right? They have built a lot after independence and you know so our grandfathers and our fathers they've built this nation literally by going out of their comfort zone. अपने घर गांव शहर को छोड़कर दूसरे शहर में जाना दूसरे घर में जाना वहाँ ज़िंदगी शुरू करना फैमिली शुरू करना it takes a lot of courage lot of cuts, right? तो आई थिंक उन्होंने कभी ना वो महसूस नहीं होने दिया. हम बड़े होकर हमें वो कहानियाँ सुनने को मिलती थी तो हमें लगता था कि यार ये क्या हो गया क्या बात कर रहे हो हमें तो बिल्कुल नहीं पता था ये यू नो. सो
जब आपने चालू किया तो विच वॉज द ईयर दैट यू डिसाइडेड दैट नहीं मुझे एक्टिंग ही करनी है और कैसे परस्यू किया? बिकॉज देर आर सो मेनी पीपल हु लव मूवीज हु वुड लाइक टू नो हाउ टू स्टार्ट बिकॉज no matter what, it was never a privilege for either you or Vicky.
Yeah, that's true. It was never a privilege. We frankly never even thought of becoming actors ever as we were growing up. Because dad was a small technician. Yeah, he's an action director, and contrary to what you may believe, an action director is a part of a larger process of filmmaking. You know, so we were never like exposed to filmmaking at large or you know actors and directors, nothing like that. हमारे जहन में भी नहीं था. But like I said, I think I was 21. I finished my graduation. I still had 1.5 years left to go for my internship when I was doing my CA. But I think my dad somewhere sensed that I wouldn't call it I'm not happy, but it's like I'm a little misled in life. Like I don't know what I want to do. I'm just doing it because अब मैंने पकड़ लिया है CA तो मैं करूँगा वो. So graduation खत्म हो गई. I was 21 and he sat me down and he's like, what do you want to do in life? I said मैं कर रहा हूँ ना CA. He's like नहीं वो तो तू पढ़ाई कर रहा है तुझे ज़िंदगी में क्या करना है? And that's when it hit me. I was like हाँ क्योंकि मुझे 1.5 साल बाद जब internship खत्म होगी तब मुझे ये नहीं करना है. I don't want to sit in front of a computer and look at people's accounts and that's not what I find happiness in. And so I thought for a couple of days and so I went to him. I said, see, I mean, you might find it strange, but I want to be a part of the industry. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know whether I want to be a director or an actor or, you know, hold a camera in my hand. But I just want to give myself that chance because I've seen you do that. And I know how much you love this industry and how I know by that how much we love movies, you know, watching because we understand the process a bit. We've heard you. तो वहाँ से शुरुआत हुई है. So I went on a set to observe, and that's how I started assisting on that film. That film was My Friend Pinto with Pratik Babbar and Kalki. So yeah, that was my first film. Then I went on to Gunde. I assisted on Gunde. Then I did my acting course with Barry John. I did a lot of theatre for 2.5, 3 years, here and there. Side by side auditioning, a lot of auditions, a lot of rejections, obviously part and parcel of everything. And yeah, finally I cracked something, मिल गया, कर लिया, ऐसे करके you keep building.
I will come to the rejections bit, but when you said about what your dad told me, so I was gonna become a doctor. I know it's very difficult to believe, but I was actually very good in studies, and I was almost gonna become a doctor. एंड मेरे को ना मुझे लगता था कि मेरे पापा चाहते हैं कि मैं डॉक्टर बनूं और मेरे पापा शायद नहीं चाहते कि मैं जर्नलिस्ट बनूं और वो मेरे दिमाग में था. तो आई रिमेंबर दैट वन फाइन मॉर्निंग व्हेन वी वर हैविंग ब्रेकफास्ट ही सैट मी डाउन. आई वाज स्टडिंग विद माय बायो बुक एंड एवरीथिंग प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर मेडिकल. एंड उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि एंड आई वाज अ ह्यूज शाहरुख खान फैन. तो मुझे उन्होंने बोला कि एंड आई हैड स्टार्टेड राइटिंग फॉर अ पेपर. टेलीग्राफ में मैं लिखता था कैलकाटा में बचपन से, इंटरव्यूज़ भी करता था. तो मेरे पापा ने मुझे बिठा के बोला कि एक चीज़ बता, आई विल गिव यू अ सिचुएशन, तो उसमें से तू क्या करेगा. तो उन्होंने मुझे सिचुएशन ये दिया कि एक साइड पे एक तू डॉक्टर बन गया है और तुझे एक सर्जरी करनी पड़ेगी, या तो वो इंसान अगर सर्जरी नहीं हुई तो वो मर जाएगा, तो यू हैव टू बी देयर एंड ऑपरेट ऑन हिम. and there is one side where you're getting a call from Shah Rukh Khan that he's meeting you at the same time. But if you go there, this person doesn't live. And what would you choose? I don't know, but I just said
Shah Rukh Khan. I choose Shah Rukh Khan.
I did say that. I did say that. But you know, as stupid it may sound, but thank God I said it, because I realized that my father also believed in it. My father told me something that I'm pretty sure all the youngsters today, no matter what you're doing in life, it will help you. That happy is a man or a woman who makes his or her passion his profession. I would go and do interviews on a daily basis. I have met you 5-6 times, but have had different conversations. I've never felt bored. जब आप एक मूवी सेट पे जाते हो, हर एक डिफरेंट मूवी में आप कभी बोर्ड फील नहीं करते कि यार मुझे वापस आना पड़ रहा है 9 to 5 जॉब में. बहुत लोग मेरे दोस्त हैं, सॉरी बट अ लॉट ऑफ इंजीनियर फ्रेंड्स दे हैव अ 9 to 5 जॉब एंड दे गेट रियली टायर्ड आफ्टर देन. यार नहीं करना. आई एम हैप्पी दैट आई फॉलोड माई passion, which you also did. Do you believe in that?
I think I discovered that it's my passion once I dived into it.
Yeah.
That's what happened with me, because it was very strange. It's like that हम बचपन से मैं और विकी ना हम बहुत ज़्यादा स्टेज शोज़ किया करते थे, बिल्डिंग में या एनुअल फंक्शंस हो गया या कुछ भी हो गया. So we were very comfortable performing in front of people. So we had that seed of entertaining people, of doing skits, of dancing and everything, and we would take part in everything that had to do with going on stage and doing something in front of people or performing in front of people. So I think that was very natural progression for us to get here. But once I got into it is when I realized, एक तो वो भी हो जाती है यार, वो ना थोड़ा सा वो पंजाबी खून है हमारा, वो ना अकड़ जाते हैं हम थोड़े से कि बोल दिया कि नहीं भाई तुझे नहीं आती, तो ऐसा लगता है ऐसे कैसे नहीं आती, अब तो करके छोड़ेंगे. You know, ये वो वाला भी था कि it's like proving to yourself, because I remember my first audition, and I've spoken about this before, was for a shampoo commercial. ठीक है, so भगवान की दुआ से मेरे बाल बड़े अच्छे हैं लाइफ में. ठीक है, तो I got a call कि you know please come and audition for this. I wouldn't name the shampoo, but अभी भी ना वो मेरे bucket list में that I want to endorse this particular shampoo brand. But anyway, I went to audition for it. और कुछ नहीं करना था, मुझे ऐसा था कि जिम से बाहर निकला है लड़का, जिम बैग है और एक बंदा है जिसको डैंड्रफ है, तो ये कहता है अरे ये क्या कर रहा है, अपने बैग से वो शैम्पू निकालता है, अपने बाल ऐसे करता है कि देख मेरे पास डैंड्रफ नहीं है, और उसे बॉटल दे देता है. इतना करना था, वेरी सिंपल. मैंने किया. द कास्टिंग डायरेक्टर वाज लाइक भाई तुझे एक्टिंग नहीं आती है क्या? मैंने कहा क्यों, क्या हो गया? कह रहा इतना सिंपल है तो कर क्यों नहीं पा रहा है? एंड आई वाज लाइक शिट. तो वहाँ पे सब मुंह पे रिजेक्शन हो गया था. ठीक है कि, और मैं फ्रेश आउट ऑफ एक्टिंग स्कूल A+ सर्टिफिकेट लेके निकला. तो मेरे दिमाग में तो ये था कि मुझे बहुत एक्टिंग आती है यार, मुझे तो मिल जाएगी, मैं तो अगले दिन ही स्टार बन जाऊँगा. बट यहाँ पे एक शैम्पू के कमर्शियल में कास्टिंग डायरेक्टर ने बोल दिया भाई तुझे एक्टिंग नहीं आती. तो मैं तो बहुत ज़्यादा रिजेक्ट हो गया था वहाँ से. सो विच इज़ वाई वो ना वो अकड़पन आ गई थी. लेकिन उसके बाद क्या ऐसा था कि यार या तो, क्योंकि 1-2 बार ऐसा भी हो गया था कि लोगों ने आके बोल दिया था इवन घर पे कि इट्स ओके इफ़ यू कांट डू दिस, इट्स ओके, यू कैन फाइंड समथिंग एल्स, यू कैन फिनिश योर CA ऑल्सो, यू गुड एट स्टडीज़. सो आई वाज लाइक ऐसे तो नहीं होगा यार, ये तो इतना गलत नहीं जा सकता मैं. सो देन वो जो अकड़ होती है ना, सो देन सीख के एंड देन यू कीप फॉलोइंग, यू कीप गेटिंग अप विद द राइट एटीट्यूड. बिकॉज इधर इफ़ यू गो लाइक कि नहीं मैं ही सही हूँ, तब भी आप बहुत ज़्यादा गलत हो. But if you keep learning and you keep getting up, then I think you'll reach somewhere, which I'm still trying to.
So you're still trying to endorse that same shampoo brand?
That's on my bucket list, yes.
I think your brother has done this, no? मैंने एक इंटरव्यू किया था विकी के साथ.
विकी के साथ भी बहुत सिमिलर चीज हुई है.
Deodorant.
उसके साथ deodorant की ad की.
And he has done a deodorant.
And he did.
And by the way, that ad also has that. He's getting rejected. The advertisement is like
I think which is why they based it on that.
Yeah.
तो वो उसकी actual हल्की सी story.
We'll manifest it. All of us, let's manifest that he endorses a shampoo brand very soon.
हाँ. जब तक मेरे बाल रहे, पता लगा कुछ सालों में बाल ही ना.
नहीं रहेंगे यार. So ये तो था शैम्पू एड में रिजेक्शन. व्हेन यू वेंट फॉर ऑडिशंस ऑफ मूवीज, बहुत टाइम ऐसा होता है, मुझे लोगों ने बोला है, राजकुमार, आयुष्मान एंड ऑल ऑफ दीस पीपल, दैट देख के ही विदाउट इवन टेस्टिंग यू दे वुड से दैट फिट अनफिट, नहीं यू कांट डू दिस, यू आर नॉट फिट फॉर दिस. ऐसा हुआ है कभी?
हाँ, ऐसा बहुत बार हुआ है. बट इट्स अ वेरी नेचुरल प्रोसेस, बिकॉज आई एम गोइंग टू गेट रियली बेसिक विद इट. बिकॉज a lot of times ना people take this as a very negative thing कि अरे ऐसे कैसे तुमने देख के अनफिट कैसे बोल दिया. That is a part of it. It's like you want a jacket, you want a denim jacket, right? So If somebody gives you some other material का jacket, तो तुम बोलोगे नहीं मुझे तो denim jacket चाहिए ना. तुम ट्राई करके देखोगे, तुम्हें अच्छा लगा तो तुमने रख लिया, that's a different thing. But if you want a denim jacket, you want a denim jacket.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So people have a brief. It's like if I tell you कि अच्छा he's a boy next door, पंजाबी लड़का है, 18 साल का है और you know sports में है and तो थोड़ा सा गोरा चिट्टा है, he's popular with the girls. So immediately you have an image in your mind. You have an image in your mind of a guy who's decent looking, from a nice house, थोड़ा सा गोरा चिट्टा, who's popular with the girls, athletic है तो body भी थोड़ी सी ठीक ठाक होगी उसकी. So you have an image. So you can't say that कि अरे तो obviously if somebody who doesn't match that image of the character brief enters, so they have the right to say कि no, you don't fit into
this,
our image of the character brief, and that is completely okay. Unless you're given a chance and you can prove that even if I don't fit into the image of the character brief,
But
I can make
that.
you change your mind.
Yeah.
That's a completely different story, and that has happened a lot of times. That's happened with Al Pacino when he was playing Corleone. You know, that's happened with him. The studio said, but he's not. That's happened with Heath Ledger when he played the Joker. That's happened with n number of people. But yeah, वो chance मिलने वाली बात होती है. But अगर नहीं भी मिला, it's okay. You go somewhere else and you'll find something else. You go somewhere else, you find something else. That's a completely normal and a natural part of any career is to get rejected, because if you're living in a paradise, हाथ में कोकोनट वाटर लेके आगे मस्त समुंदर है, तो तुम कितना कोकोनट वाटर पी लोगे यार? तुमको कोई तो चाहिए होगा मस्ती करने के लिए, कुछ खेलने के लिए, कुछ उतार चढ़ाव लाइफ में.
True.
कुछ तुम अपने आप झाड़ पे चढ़ोगे, तुम गिर जाओगे, तुम खुद की मरम पट्टी करोगे, बट वो करोगे तुम पूरा टाइम ऐसे कोकोनट वाटर लेके पैराडाइज में नहीं बैठ सकते, बोर हो जाओगे. दैट्स नॉट लाइफ. दैट्स नॉट व्हाई वी आर not built that way, humans. We are built to just struggle, push forward, get something, set new goals, again struggle for that. You know,
That's
so it's
true.
that. Thanks, sir. Welcome to my TEDx.
But what's the worst piece of criticism that you have heard, which you didn't agree with, which you felt like it was a little too much on me?
There was one piece of criticism that I got, which I hold very dear to my heart today. And I did not agree with it that time at all. At all, matlab 100%. But also because I did not understand what it meant. So somebody told me that, this is much later after the shampoo rejection. Somebody told me that, you know, dialogue delivery, great. Body language, pakadna, aa gaya. You know, you're good with that. Your expressions, okay, on point, you know. Acha, you can understand directions, you can play with it and everything. All that is great. But तेरी आँखें नहीं बोलती. And I was like, आँखें नहीं बोलती मतलब इतना सब कुछ कर दिया, बॉडी लैंग्वेज सही है, डायलॉग बोल लेता हूँ, मेरे एक्सप्रेशंस ऑन पॉइंट है, इमोशंस ऑन पॉइंट है, बट आँखें नहीं बोलती का क्या मतलब है? उसके वजह से तुम रिजेक्ट कर. और मुझे ना उसका मतलब ही नहीं समझ में आया कि आँखें नहीं बोलती क्या होता है. हाउ डू यू मेक योर आईज टॉक? बिकॉज इन माई माइंड, इन माई हार्ट, आई वाज लाइक, बट आई एम इमोटिंग. Right, so that was one thing which I did not agree with at all, till somebody came and told me when I did my first thing, which was Chukyagiri. It was a show on YouTube. Somebody said, "यार तेरी आँखें बोलती है." And I was like, "हैं? ये क्या हो रहा है?" So and it's like I started dissecting my own performance, and that's when I realized what it means कि आँखें नहीं बोलना और आँखें बोलने का मतलब है, वो हर बंदे के लिए अलग होगा. I cannot get into what it means, because for me it means something else, right? And for you it might mean something else. So that is one piece of criticism that I did not agree with at all, but today I hold very dear to my heart, because आँखें बोलना बहुत ज़रूरी है. तुम कुछ भी कर रहे हो अपनी लाइफ में, तुम्हारी आंखें बोलना बहुत ज़रूरी है.
You know, eyes will always speak the truth that you wish to convey. I feel sometimes you fail with words, but your eyes will definitely. This is something my mother also tells me. But both you and Vicky are extremely talented, and I'm not saying it because you're sitting with me. We've always had this conversation, even in circles. These are two brothers who are equally talented, you know. And it's crazy that both of you have had different share of struggle in your life to achieve what you have. At any given point, did you feel bogged down that मैं इतनी कोशिश कर रहा हूँ that people are coming and telling me that okay you're good at your job but you're still not getting the opportunities that you possibly deserved at that point?
Okay, so there are two things. There is one कि मैंने अपने लिए एक गोल सेट कर रखा है और मुझे लगता है कि यार मैं ये कर सकता हूँ, ठीक है. अब हम एक ऐसे करियर में हैं जो you don't know whether you can do it or not till you actually go and do it, right? So I feel that okay, this is what I can do and this is what I should be doing. But if somebody else doesn't feel like that, it's completely fine. It's like that's the thing. It's like I've set a goal for myself and I'm working towards it. But if somebody else doesn't see it right now, it's completely okay. There's nothing. I cannot stress myself out with the fact कि अरे दुनिया को क्यों नहीं दिख रहा है यार, मुझे तो दिख रहा है, मुझे अपने आप में वो दिख रहा है, दुनिया को क्यों नहीं दिख रहा? नहीं दिख रहा है, इट्स ओके, दिख जाएगा. नहीं भी दिखेगा कोई बात नहीं. सबकी अपनी अपनी एक किस्मत होती है, सब अपनी फुल 100% देते हैं, you know. So it's completely okay. And when you talk about Vicky, right? And I always give this answer, but it's like, but my goals and my definition of success is probably different than yours, not Vicky's, than yours. Because what you think being successful is probably what Vicky has achieved right now, right? Which is a much more fan following, much bigger films, and I feel you were very sweet when you said equally talented, but I feel he is much more talented, and I have a long way to go. Wait. अब क्या है ना कि जब सामने वाला कोई बात कर रहा है तो उसे लगता है कि अच्छा ये ज़्यादा अचीव कर गया तो दिस इज़ द सक्सेस, सो हेंस द कंपैरिजन, राइट? बट आई probably don't think that is my benchmark of success, right? It's like, for example, किसी के लिए 1 लाख रुपए बहुत है, किसी के लिए 10 करोड़ कम है. But how do you decide it? You have to decide what your marker of success is, right? So it's as simple as that, and it keeps growing, it keeps changing, but at the end of the day, it needs to be in your hand, not in the hands of people or your peers or your parents or your society to tell you what your marker of success is.
Absolutely.
And that will always keep you happy and grounded, guys, because वो ना, it will keep you stress free. Because फिर जो भी होगा ना वो तुम्हारे खुद के goals हैं और तुम्हें वो achieve करने हैं, किसी को कुछ prove नहीं करना है, you know. So it's that.
No, when I say equally, I'll tell you why I said that. Because बहुत time ऐसा होता है कि जब एक फैमिली से कोई एक पहले आता है तो दूसरे बंदे को कंपैरिजन हमेशा एक पिट अगेंस्ट हो जाता है. एंड समटाइम्स व्हेन यू पिट यू ऑलवेज ट्राई टू, इवन इफ talented, the other person is always like pulled down a little bit, I feel. And it's all on media, and I take that responsibility as a part of the media, that we love comparing. I feel that it's the worst thing.
No, but everybody compares.
Everybody in life, relatives, your family people, everybody eventually compares, and that's the worst, you know. But I wanted to say that when you look at Vicky and you, both are really talented artists.
Thanks.
In your own spaces. Nobody can say कि इनके पास talent नहीं था फिर भी मौका मिल गया. You know, you both have actually made a mark, and I remember this short film that I had watched of yours. I don't know how many of you have actually watched it. When Zara Hatke Zara Bachke was releasing, I actually went up to Vicky and told him that do you know, it's I have seen Sunny's short, which was also similar, about this boy, about this couple who don't have
space after marriage.
After marriage, and it was such a when you talk about eyes speaking, that your eyes speak, it's a fact.
Okay.
It's a why not? It's a lovely
I was like
shot.
really young, yeah.
So
it's a lovely film. I'm talking about myself. I cringe looking at myself.
Rubbish, not at all. Please go watch it and tell me. But when you actually started with your first film, what were the challenges that you faced as an artist? Because that was your first, right? Working from theatre, the whole setup is different when it's a movie. What were the challenges that you faced on your first film where you got to learn?
Yeah, first film, so there are just challenges and challenges, because the simplest way I can explain is like your rhythm in your life changes, right? Because time in front of camera moves in a very different way. It's got its own speed. You are doing the same thing probably 12 times, probably 2 times, probably 50 times, depending on the director, whether he gets the shot or no. So time for you is very different, because you have to still be in that moment, in your character, and perform. बाहर 4 घंटे बीत चुके हैं बट तुम वहीं पर हो, तुम वही चीज़ कर रहे हो. सो दैट्स द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट आई नोटिस्ड एंड आई केम आउट ऑफ इट एंड आई वाज लाइक ओह शाम हो गई, पता भी नहीं चला बिकॉज मैं एक ही चीज़ 10 बार कर रहा था, राइट. एंड दैट्स माई ऑब्जर्वेशन एंड इट्स जस्ट द लर्निंग कर्व. इट्स लाइक your everything that you've learned in life, right from you were a kid, from forming your opinions to having judgments to studying to everything that you've learned, everything is put in that moment where you're like, okay, now everything that I've learned, I have to throw it out, I have to show it, and I have to actually articulate it in my body, right? So that's the first thing that I thought. I was like, okay, this is something new, man, because ये ऑडिशंस में कर लो या घर पे बैठे बैठे जब आप प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो शीशे के सामने तब कर लो, इट्स अ कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट थिंग. बट व्हेन देयर आर एक्चुअली 200 people around you and the camera is rolling and you're doing it, it's a completely different ball game and you'll have your own challenges. But and I still get very
intimidated,
awe, not intimidated, like I get in awe of this whole fact. You know, even today when I'm performing in front of the camera, I realize that it's actually moving so slow, the time, and that's very refreshing for me, you know, as a person.
but a lot of people should know that today is very special because today is the day where he completes exactly 7 years in the industry, guys. So we must
Thank you guys, thank you.
मुझे ये जानना है 7 साल पहले आपकी शुरुआत हुई इंडस्ट्री में, 7 साल में एज अ पर्सन, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग एज एन आर्टिस्ट, एज अ पर्सन what in you has changed? What are the changes that you notice? क्या मुझ में ये बदला?
I think I've become much more calmer in life, become much more observant. You know, I was very impulsive 7 years ago when I started. मैं बहुत ज़्यादा edge पे रहता था, वो young blood, you know, तो वो और वो ज़रूरी भी है probably, but अभी मैं बहुत थोड़ा शांत हो गया हूँ थोड़ी.
Edge पे as in what did you
edge
do?
पे like कर दो, अभी कर दो, सब कर दो, you know, वैसा वो वाली जो एनर्जी होती है ना कि रुकना नहीं है, थकना नहीं है, बस आगे बढ़ते जाना है, वैसा वाला टाइप का. तो
अभी ठहराव आ गया.
हाँ, अभी थोड़ा सा अभी माइंडसेट वही है बट अभी ना ठहराव आ गया, एक अप्रोच बदल गई है. सो आई हैव बिकम अ लिटिल मोर कामर एंड आई हैव स्टार्टेड रियलाइजिंग दैट कि ओ यू कैन डू द सेम थिंग बट विद अ मच मोर कामर एनर्जी एंड ऑब्जर्विंग, यू नो. सो दैट्स व्हाट हैज प्रोबेबली चेंज्ड इन मी.
सनी, लाइक यू सेड कि आपका नज़रिया टुवर्ड सक्सेस एंड बेंचमार्क अलग है. तो इफ़ आई आस्क यू व्हाट इज़ योर बेंचमार्क, जो आप 7 साल हो गए, अगले 3 साल में, मतलब व्हेन यू कंप्लीट 10 years ऑन दिस एग्जैक्ट डे, वो क्या है जो सनी कौशल अचीव करना चाहता है?
मैं कसम से नहीं सोचता, एंड इट्स नॉट अ वे टू गेट अवे फ्रॉम द कॉन्वर्जेशन, बट आई genuinely do not think. I think Vicky has spoken about this because our mom keeps saying one thing, that be in the present, do what you can. तुम्हारा काम करना है, ठीक है, और तुम्हें कैसे चीज़ें मिलेंगी वो सोचना तुम्हारा काम नहीं है. सो व्हाट इट मीन्स टू से इज जस्ट बी हियर एंड वर्क towards your goals. I don't know what my goal is. When I say goal, it probably you set your goals if you are very clear about your motivations. That's what I believe, right? So my motivation is very simple. I want to entertain people. Everything else is the byproduct. Money, fame, everything else is besides the point. But I genuinely feel very nice, and probably it's a very selfish motivation as well, because I enjoy entertaining people. I think I'm the most connected to myself when I am acting knowing that somebody, even if it's one person, is going to watch this and probably like it, not like it, I don't know, but is going to watch this, and you know, they're going to be invested in it, and they're going to give some time from their life to watching this piece of motion and moving art, you know. So that's my motivation. And so I don't know, so my goal then probably becomes to entertain as many people as possible over the globe, right? So that's what it is.
Now I want to know that during Shiddat, what was going through your mind? Did you feel, कभी कभी क्या होता है ना, आपको पता नहीं होता है कि ये मूवी लोगों को इतनी छू जाएगी. क्या आपको पहले से पता था जब आपने स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ी थी या फिर एक्ट कर रहे थे कि ये इतनी बड़ी बन जाएगी? इट वॉज एन इमोशन, इट वॉज नॉट अ मूवी आफ्टर अ पॉइंट.
नहीं यार, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. मेरी तो खुशी इसमें थी कि मुझे मौका मिल गया है कि मतलब कि oh, this is the character I have to play. So it was like probably one of those times that I felt first ke, oh wow, this is like a great character, and who would even think doing something like this? So it was, and somehow I just connected to the madness of Jaggi, right? So for me, it was an opportunity to also gauge if I can make people believe that this guy can actually do this, then that's a win for me. You know, if people connect to Jaggi, and I think that was the thing. But Baki, I had no idea that people are going to love it so much. Yeah, I mean, even though it was the lockdown and it was originally a theatrical, but obviously every film finds its own audience and its own way to reach the audience. So I'm very fortunate that it actually went there on OTT, because it, I think, got a much larger audience at that point.
True.
You know, so आज भी जब मैं social media खोलता हूँ, so there are a lot of posts on Shiddat and Jaggi and people messaging that, you know, they watched Shiddat today and I don't know why I did not watch it earlier, kind of a message, and it's really humbling. It's really, you know, I feel a lot of love that this is happening, and I'm really fortunate here.
How many of you are excited for Shiddat 2, guys? आवाज.
Maybe.
So Shiddat 2
Thanks.
is currently being shot.
Yeah.
It's been announced, of course, so we can speak about it. But we have a message for the producers. Remember, guys, what we have to do? We have a message that because it was planned as a theatrical, Shiddat 2 should release in theaters.
Okay. I'll make sure that I tell him this.
Yeah, we will have to tell Dinu also that, listen, Dinu, if you're watching this, we're going to send you this. It has to release in theaters. But
मेरी नौकरी छुड़वा के रखेगा.
जट दे पिछे पर तू मैनू बाली ही जचदी लक ते गुच्ची दा बेल्ट तू पाया जट्टा ने कोड़ता न बस पाया वे लगी टोर हुंदी साडी